Absolute value inequalities get a little confusing in how to determine if they are and inequalities versus or inequalities, but they're always a compound inequality because we have two cases. So it's either an and or an or. So the question is, how do we know which is which? So let's talk about the absolute value of x is less than 5. So let's think about some numbers that work for x in this situation. Remember, the absolute value of x means the distance from 0 to x, and it has to be less than 5. So if you think about a number line for a moment, okay, here's 0. The question is, how far could I go in either direction so that the distance is less than 5, okay? Well, let's see, x equals 1 would work, x equals 2 would work, 3, 4, 4.5, 4.8, 4.9, 4.999. I can go all the way up to 5, but not including 5, and that would work. And if I go all the way to negative 5, but don't include negative 5, that would work. And if I connect these together, all those numbers in between would work, okay? So that means x has to be between negative 5 and positive 5 in order for the absolute value to be less than 5. Now, when we have a compound inequality where it's two circles being connected in the middle, that's a traditional and inequality. So this is going to be an and inequality, okay? So now what if I do the opposite? What if I do the absolute value is greater than or equal to 5? Again, if I process this out with a number line, here's a 0. We know that 5 is going to be important, so we'll do 5 and negative 5. There's an equal to, so we're going to have closed circles this time, okay? Now, this distance is 5. This distance is 5, but I want the distance to be more than 5. So that means I'm going to need numbers over here and over here, or numbers to the left of my dot, okay? So what does that mean? That means that I really want to have numbers going this way and this way. Now, what does that look like? Well, when we had two inequalities going in opposite directions, that was traditionally an or inequality, okay? All right, so here's what we've got. If you have absolute value is less than a number, or less than or equal to, that's an and. And if you have absolute value is greater than a number, or greater than or equal to a number, that's an or. You have to have the absolute value isolated before you can decide if it should be an and or an or inequality. Now, when I look at these other two with the negative 4, these are going to be some of our special cases. So let's take a look at how that works. All right. Let's divide this down the middle. All right. If I take a look at the absolute value is greater than negative 4, okay? Even just in terms of a number line, well, if I go from, say, 0 to 1, that distance is 1. 1 is bigger than negative 4. If I go from 0 to 2, the distance would be 2, and that's bigger than negative 4. If I go 0 to negative 100, that distance is 100, which is definitely more than negative 4. Now, absolute value is always a positive number. So I'm saying a positive number is greater than negative 4. Well, isn't that always true? That is always true. It'll work for any x value. This is going to be all real numbers. Okay? The absolute value of any number is positive, other than 0. But even 0 is bigger than negative 4, along with all the positive numbers being bigger than negative 4. So this isn't all real numbers. This is one of our special cases. And there are other ways to get all real numbers. We'll see if they pop up when we're solving some more problems down the road. Okay? And then what about absolute value is less than or equal to negative 4? All right, let's process that one out. All right. We're saying the absolute value, which is almost always a positive, or it could be 0. Okay, I should add on that this is 0 as well. And we're saying that's less than or equal to negative 4. Well, is 0 smaller than negative 4? No. Is a positive number smaller than negative 4? No. So this is actually a no solution problem. And again, there are other ways for a no solution to pop up, and we'll see if they pop up when we're going through and we're solving these, okay? So that's the overall gist to how I'm going to deal with these inequalities, All right. In the next video, we're going to take a look at actually solving and graphing some compound inequalities from absolute value. All right. I will see you there.